All right, so Belichick, Rob, there's some reporting going on. There's reports of tension between Bill Belichick and the owner, Robert Kraft, up in New England. And Tom Curran, he's the longtime Patriots beat writer, does a great job covering them. He said this week on WEEI up in Boston, Rob, that Belichick is agitated, to use his word, that Mac Jones sought help from Steve Sarkisian over there in Alabama during the season for tips on how to improve as a player. Here's Curran's quote, Rob. The yelling and the gesticulations during the games was irritating enough, meaning Mac Jones is yelling and stuff. But going outside the building for counsel, that really pissed Bill off. Disloyalty in Bill's mind is almost worse than bad play. Bill's still pissed about it. How well are they going to be able to bury the hatchet on Mac's perceived and presumed disloyalty? And does Bill O'Brien, the new OC in New England, rectify that? Or is Bill still itching to teach the kid a lesson? And Rob, now there are reports that Belichick has been shopping Mac Jones. So what's your take on kind of this whole situation up there in New England?
I do get the idea that Bill could look at it, and obviously the way that they had the offense set up without having an offensive coordinator and Matt Patricia, like that was a mess. It really was.
That was a terrible move.
It was really bad.
We called it.
I do get
from day one. We called it.
We said that this wasn't going to work.
You had to be a genius to do it.
Yeah, to figure that one out, that this isn't going to work. But the thing I will say is I get like these guys have egos. What do you mean you're going to some college coach? You're in the pros now. I've won 6 Super Bowls. I had Tom Brady here. Whatever it is, Chris, it's like a slap in the face. Like he wasn't getting what he was supposed to be getting in the pros, and he needed to go back to get help. And I could see where a coach of that caliber and ego would feel slighted, like what are you doing? Like, what are you going to somebody? He doesn't know what we're doing here. He's a college coach. Yes, he was your college coach, but why would you do that and not come to us? So I do feel that part, and I think in Tom's piece, what was it? His disloyalty, right? Is the word he used.
That's what he used, right?
Yeah. So I do get that part of it, but I don't think it's the end of the world. How about that?
I totally disagree. I think Belichick, come on, man. Really? If LeBron James, Rob, called his high school coach and said, Coach, man, I'm having trouble with this team is playing this zone defense and it's giving me some problems. What do you think I should do? Like, should Darvin Ham be ticked off? I don't think that's a big deal. It's not like Mac Jones put an ad in the paper. Hey, I need help playing quarterback here. We got a defensive coordinator who doesn't know what he's doing. Anybody give me some help. And I also think, Rob, like I would imagine, I don't know this for sure. My guess, Rob, would be that Mac Jones went to somebody, whether it's Belichick, whether it's Patricia, or Joe Judge or whoever. And like first he was seeking their help. He probably saw Patricia don't know what he's talking about. And I think he's a good defensive coach. He wasn't a good head coach in Detroit, but I think he's a good defensive coach. But why do we think he knows, yeah, of course he knows general things about the offense, but that Belichick's hubris and cockiness and arrogance backfired on him. And so he brought in a guy that probably couldn't discuss the quarterback position and the intricacies of it at the level that like an NFL starting quarterback wants to talk about him. And so that's my number one thing, Rob. And also I just think, look, Belichick, if he's trying to trade a player, in this case they say he's shopping Mac Jones, doesn't he expect Mac Jones, if he doesn't trade him, and the word's out that he's been shopping him, he expects Mac Jones to come into training camp, to put it behind him, and be a pro. Give me your best. Give me 110%. Yeah, your name was out there. We may have tried to move you. We didn't. This is your team. You got to show up, put that behind you, put on your big boy pants. Well, the same for Belichick. Put on your big boy pants. Look in the mirror. Who in your building couldn't give him the advice he needed? Why did he have to go outside? Look in the mirror, bring in some people, and I think he did now in Bill O'Brien, but bring in some people that can help him and put it behind you. You demand that of your players, then demand that of yourself. So that's how I look at it.
Yeah,
Rob.
but the only difference is I don't think like some of the examples you're making with people who haven't done anything or achieved, and that's why his ego would be
like
that
what?
big. Like winning
Which
6
example?
Super Bowls.
No, I mean, which example did I use?
You used
LeBron calling a high school coach?
Yeah, calling like Darvin Ham. What did Darvin Ham? What is he going to? What's his pushback? I'm just saying, like I'm just saying, like I think that's why Belichick would have an ego about it, where Darvin Ham wouldn't. That's my only thing is like he has an ego because he's won so much.
But I don't think any coach.
I hear what you're saying. I'm just saying where I could see where he would feel like, what are you doing? Who are you going to talk to? If you got issues, you should keep it in house and talk to us. That's what I'm.
What if there's nobody there he could talk to?
That's a conversation, Chris. I get it, and maybe it was just. I'm just saying when you talk about people with egos, they're not interested in other people. No,
well, they got to learn. He's not God. He's not above learning. I mean, I'm sorry. Bill Belichick doesn't know every single thing about football, particularly on the offensive end. He's a great coach. I've called him the GOAT. I've also pointed out that he hadn't done much without Tom Brady, but I'm going to give him his props for what he has done. There's two. But my point is just that he shouldn't be tripping, and because he doesn't expect his player to trip. Now, let's move on here. Do you have an issue? Like, what do you think of him trying to shop Mac Jones? My thing, Rob, I say the same thing to Mac. Mac Jones is not above being chopped. If it's Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, I get it. What? You're shopping me? Now, if it's Mac Jones, Rob, Mac Jones, even in his first year when he played well as a rookie, what he showed us, I'm not saying it's his ceiling because maybe he could do better. But what he showed us his rookie year was that he looks like he could be a really good game manager. That's what he did. He showed us some leadership. He showed us some moxie.
And then won a game where he threw 2 passes.
Right. I mean, he showed us that he looks like a game manager. A game manager, particularly in the AFC, is not what you want. So if I don't fault Belichick for if he thinks he can get better than doing that. But again, Mac now has to be an adult and say, okay, they were shopping me. What do I need to look in the mirror and make sure they never think about shopping me again. And so I get what you're saying about egos. A lot of these dudes got egos.
Yeah, I'm
saying that these dudes be adults.
Right.
Be adults.
I hear your point, but these guys, Chris, you know this, they have massive egos. You can't tell them anything, especially older guys who have had that kind of success. They just don't want to. They don't want to hear it. They're not going to buy into it. Where are you going? Nothing you're going to get outside is going to be better than what we give you here. We have won. We've won more than anybody. Where in the world would you go to get a better help about playing in the NFL? Right? He's a college coach. He ain't no NFL coach, and that would be the pushback.
You think that the tension between Kraft and Belichick? We talked about it like a couple weeks ago. I don't think they'll ever fire Belichick.
Nah,
but I don't know, Rob. Do I think I was going to say a mutual parting of the ways? Eventually, maybe after a year or two, whatever. I could see that for sure.
I think that's no doubt about it at some point, because some guys don't want to leave, Chris. They don't want to retire, and you got to go and take the keys from them. You got to force them to retire. And that's what happens. Unfortunately, most people don't walk out on their own. I don't know why, but you gotta force them. What Jim Boeheim didn't want to. 50 years at Syracuse, 78 too. What What are you doing?
I know. Come on, man.
How are you relating to a kid 60 years younger than you?
You can't.
You can't.
And that's why they haven't been they've been okay, but you know what I mean?
Come
Like,
on.
not what they used to be. Absolutely. All right.